Hi, welcome to another coding stream. It's been a couple of days, I believe, but today there are several news to go over, and I figured out a couple of things that are gonna change in the way Ragchecker is released. So bear with me, and I'm gonna present it to you all now. Let's get to the first item on our agenda. Um, Give me a second and switch this over here. Just a sec. Okay, you see the code. All right. The code itself is not important right now, but I wanted to go over something that is gonna matter soon in regards to Ragchecker. Okay, everything should be working. Let me just check here. Matters. Okay, I heard myself. That's a good sign. Alright, so the first thing is that Ragchecker will be released in an episodic manner, which means that it'll go into early access when the first one or two missions are done, which will be the first one or two episodes. And when you make a purchase in early access, you will get those episodes, and then every episode that will come out after that. So you just have to buy the game once, and then you'll get all the content that will come in the form of episodes later, gradually. Now, there will be some DLCs in the end that will be separate from these episodes, so that's a completely different matter. What I'm talking about are the episodes themselves. So the first point to make, you buy the game once and you get all the content, but it'll come gradually. Now the frequency of the episodes release will be probably approximately twice per month, which means that within the first part of the month, of any given month after the release, one episode will come out, and in the second part, the second episode will come. There's no preset date or time specifically, because there are several issues actually that are the cause of this. One of which is that we have limited resources, and I'm the only programmer on the team, and like I can't do everything in time for an exact particular day and release something and be really sure that it's working. So like I can't guarantee that it's gonna work on that particular day, especially with a game of this size. So I thought that it would be better if it were released in a time frame instead of a specific day. And actually, like, this idea came from one of our Simtunia cabinet officers on Discord, Redness, who suggested this time frame idea. So this one came from him. So there'll be a time frame in which the episode will come out, and that may change. Like it may, like if it's done and tested at the beginning of the time frame, it'll come out. If not, then it might come out later, till the end of the time frame. So I don't know, we'll see, but that's approximately how it's gonna work. Now, also the lighting, like today is a bit of a crazy lighting here. I don't have my secondary light on, and it's dark outside, so there's only this, with these two LED panels that I have here are changing colors and looping through a series of colors. So it's different today. But the point is that Ragchecker will come out in this episodic manner, and the first two will come out. The first one or two, not sure yet. The first one or two will come out at some point during August. Don't know yet, will be specified during a stream and a post on Discord and on Steam most likely, but at some point during August. So what that will give you is the first episode, that is the tutorial that will tell you how the game works, so you can get a pretty good idea of what you're dealing with, what the features are, what you can actually do in the game, and understand all the mechanics. And either after that in the same episode or in the second episode, if we can get it out and ready by then, we're still prepping stuff. What the hell? Then after that there'll be like the first mission, and that is not a tutorial, so you'll be able to test out everything that you've learned, which is gonna be quite a lot, but we'll see about that, and you will see about that. But yeah, like we already know, it's gonna be a lot, and each episode will take from half an hour to an hour, closer to an hour. We aimed at that time, so like there's not gonna be like a bunch of unnecessary stuff, but there's gonna be a lot to interact with and to explore and to figure out and to find. So, and like this mindset and this idea is inspired heavily by Deus Ex, because in Deus Ex there's so much stuff you can learn about the lore and about the story, which is the lore, and so much things that you can do and interact with, like mainly the terminals and pocket secretaries and ebooks and newspapers, all that stuff that you can read and figure out like what is going on and what the other characters are, what are the other most important people in the game, like those that you, for example, haven't met yet or heard about just briefly, or from some other character, because there will be instances of that too. You will learn that from all these. So like in each episode there's gonna be a lot of stuff to explore and read, emails, bunch of terminals and stuff that you can interact with. That will probably be the activity that takes you the longest, because that's what's really important. And like personally to me, that's very important, to really put a lot of attention into all the details and into the lore, the backstory, so that you can actually learn what is it about, like what is the world that the story is put into and like the characters live in, and understand it, not just the main story that you see while listening to the characters and playing the game itself, like the main storyline, but you can actually learn like what is going on in some other parts of the world, and like not just the main characters. So that's the like first the announcement. It's for now it's just on stream here. It'll be announced on Discord and Steam shortly, within the next couple of days. And yeah, like that's it. And then when all the episodes are released, my ear still hurts, probably from the headphones, but like I need them right now. So besides all these episodic releases, or like after those these episodic releases, after they are all out, the game will go into full release. So after all the episodes are out, the game will go from early access, beta, into full release, version 1.0. So The timeline for that is approximately a year. We'll see. Might be more, might be less, but probably a year or so. Um, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. I think that you will like it, guys. Like especially those of you who enjoy um sci-fi worlds and um technical games and modern looking environments, and I think that those people will like it the most, but we'll see. Let me just take a look at something here. Time check. Yeah. My devices, my camera will go offline for a bit in 5 minutes, and basically all my other devices except my desktop. I will have to override my wind down mode on my Apple devices, so I'll have to do that in less than 5 minutes. Oh, the beeping. Shut up. Yeah, so like I think that you're gonna like it. We'll see. But now we're gonna do some coding, and I have a popsicle to eat. Summer hot day today, so gotta cool down a little bit. Shoot, it's already. I've waited too long. Oh well, this is not gonna go well. Mm. Um, let's put on some music and get into actually what the stream is about, which is coding. And I want to say something later about all this, but let's do some coding first. We have to put on our music again. There are gonna be more songs, and Regjak is gonna receive its own well, our biggest yet soundtrack. So like an album, but it's probably the first Ongaken album. There was one for BDrush, but there was more of an EP because it was too short to be an album, so it was an EP. Technically speaking, but this is gonna be an album, so keep an eye out for that when the game comes out. When the full game comes out, not beta. Not all the songs are gonna be finished by then. And that's actually a problem because you can do everything at once, and the music um yeah, it's gonna be interesting because I don't know, like in the episodes, how the music is gonna work. We'll have to see. Wait, can you hear it? Nope. Whoops. Okay. Forgot to unmute. Fuck. Ah! What the fuck? Ah! Shit. Fucking gravity. I don't. I can't take my headphones off. Fucking hell. Hold on. Fuck. It's everywhere. It's on the ground as well. I don't know how it got there, but I'm probably holding my hands. Well, that happened. My poor headphones. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? How did it go on the headphones? I didn't touch them. It's fucking ice cream on my headphones. Jesus Christ. These were actually pretty expensive. Ah. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, well. We're back. Or I'm back. Wait. Is that my bottoms? Fuck! Now everything is in Sweden. Great. Give me a revolver. I'm gonna shoot myself. Give me a loaded revolver. I have to wash my hands again. See you in a bit. This was a fucking disaster. Oh, Jesus. Luckily, my cleaning lady is coming on Sunday. There's gonna be some work that will need to be done around here. Oh my god, but I cleaned up the fucking ice cream. This was unexpected. Alright, let's do it. Alright. Let's switch to something less depressing. Okay, Dragons. Dragons by Ongakan. Yeah. Briefly forgot what I wanted to do. But yeah, so here we are in Viet, and I actually noticed last time that my camera is positioned in such a way that you can't see half of the code. So I think that for code streaming, I'm actually gonna move it to the other side. But I don't know. You can see that now. I think that I'm gonna move it to the other side. You should also be able to see hardware info now. I'm gonna close Unreal. I'm gonna move the camera. Or actually, I can just take the window and make it slower. Smaller. Please, no slower. Smaller. This works. That works pretty well. So I will have the other way around actually. the header files here because there's a shorter and the source files here. Kinda makes sense. Let's do that. Oh god, okay. Access point. Header file. Access point. Network. Necessary. Access point. Wireless network master. Okay. So header CPP. All right. Now, let's close this one as well. Source header. All right. Access point master. So this one is basically you will have multiple ways of where's the camera moving. Jesus Christ. Basically, you'll have multiple ways of gaining access to a device in WagJacker. And the two ways that you'll use the most will be through access points. Now, there will be a physical access point, which is like plugging a USB or your RJ45 cable, Ethernet cable into the server rack. So that's like physical access point. Like that interface that you're connecting to is the access point. And a wireless access point is like a Wi-Fi router, which will provide wireless access to a network. And the master class for this access point is access point master, and access point master has two children: wireless access point and physical access point. Now, wireless access point, just an empty constructor here, but properties like members of the wireless access point, you have SSID, BSSID, encryption type, and signal strength in decibels. So basically you have these when you're connecting to a network. You have a name, MAC address, encryption like WPA2, and strength in decibels, signal strength, so you can see like minus 20 decibels or so. So you'll have these in WagJacker as well, and you'll be able to gain access to both of these types. So to the physical access point and to the wireless access point. There will be more wireless access points most likely, but you'll see. So, and when you gain access, then we'll go back to access point master. So you can see network master, associated network. So basically what this is a variable that will hold an object that is the associated network with this access point. So whether a wireless access point or a physical access point, there's always a network that's attached to it. So it's an access point to a network. That's the point. So it's an access point to a network. So what this attribute says is that basically and that's another class, by the way, network master, which is the master class of a network. And this network will be instantiated every time there's a access point available to you. So for example, imagine that, or you don't need to imagine, but in the first level you step into a server room and there's an access point, a tutorial access point, and as soon as this access point spawns, the class of the access point, so wireless access point, will instantiate an instance of network master. There might be some subtypes, some children of this class later, but for now it's the network master. So you will instantiate one network master and you will call it associated network. So that is your network that you'll gain access to when you gain access to this access point, if that makes sense. And this network has its own properties. So if we go to network master, you can see that there are several properties. That network has a mask and has a broadcast address. and this will be calculated later, and it will have more members later. But that's basically the idea. So an access point will grant you access to a network. That's the simplified explanation. Let's skip this one. So just to recap, just to make it as clear as possible, you will use an access point, either a physical access point or a wireless access point, to gain access to a network. And once you're on a network, you will be able to scan the network, see the devices that are on the network, and do some recon, and then access those devices, attack them, those that are out of your reach. So you'll be able to attack them and see what they're all about. So you'll be able to see the local IP, the MAC address, the detected OS, open ports, filtered ports, perhaps. I'm not sure about those yet. And possible vulnerabilities. So even in the pro mode, in the hardcore hacking mode, there'll be some hints here and there. So for example, Nmap will tell you that it detected, because there's actually a script called vuln that we can use in Nmap, in the actual Nmap, and that will detect some vulnerabilities that are known, and the game will tell you there might be these vulnerabilities, and some of them will be bogus, but some of them will actually tell you and give you a useful hint as to what to do, how to access a particular device. And you'll use this to progress through the story. And this part is very similar to actually the original Terminal Insanity that I streamed last week, I believe. So if you want to see that, go to YouTube and it's there. It's the original Terminal Insanity. So this particular part will be very similar to that, but done properly, because back then I literally created a variable for your current local network that you're on for the mask, and based on the mask I was deciding how to respond to your particular commands. So for like, there was a command called scan, and if your mask was this and or this or this, it replied in a specific way, which is not good, and it was very hard coded. Everything was literally in the code. But now it's using OOP principles, and there are objects all over the place, and the access points, all of them, the networks, the devices, everything are classes that are instantiated, and then you end up with objects that you can use. So everything is an object, and everything can be multiplied and instantiated several times, so that you have several instances of a class, and you don't have to write the same code over and over. You have the same code, but appearing multiple times. So that's the idea, and it's the management of something like this is better. You have more control. It gives you more features, and it's safer. So it's not good to hard code this stuff, and like, if you can, like, OOP is a lot of fun, and like, try it. Even with simple projects, you can use OOP pretty much with everything. So like, OOP is fun. I remember that I used it with, what was it? It was a simple school assignment, high school actually, to code. What was it? To code it like a car dealership app, or a web interface or something like that, but on local in C. But yeah, the assignment was in C, but I wrote it in C++. And I used OOP, and each, like, there was a masterclass of, like, it was called car, and then there were child classes of each category and then of each car, and then I created instances, or actually not each car but each category, and then instances of those were the individual cars, and I've just set the properties. So, like, for example, 4x4, and there was an instance with, for example, the name field was the name of the car, model, manufacturer, year, whatever, number of people you can fit in, and all of that were the properties of the class, but set uniquely for that object, so for that particular car. So I did that with OOP, and I didn't access variables directly. I had getters and setters, so I satisfied all the OOP requirements to do it properly, actually, and no one else did this. And the others had to use C, but I wanted to use C++, so I did, because like C++, I mean I never liked C because you, like, some things are done differently and it's limited, and you have to manage, like, it depends, but you have to most of the times manage memory manually, and like in C++ it's a bit easier, and you have more options. You can use OOP, and also Unreal uses C++, which is a big thing for me, since I started C++ in Unreal, so I just went immediately to the hardcore, and I actually first, like, the first raw C++ experience was like half a year into Unreal, into my Unreal C++ experience. So yeah, I mean, I would just went with it. I was like, let's learn a new language, C++, in the worst environment possible. Hardcore, everything looks different than it actually does in real C++, but I did it. And it was fun, actually. When I talk to people about C++, and some people who don't know it and want to learn, I tell them download Unreal and make worlds, like, make games, and you'll learn C++ because you get to use it, and, like, try to limit your usage of blueprints in the final products. You can prototype in them. I do that too a lot. But when you're happy with the result, rewrite it to C++. Some things are really difficult in C++ as opposed to blueprints. For example, timing and delays and multi-threading. So, like, those can be the little things that stay in blueprints if you can't do it, so that's okay. You can just connect, like, you can have nodes that are, for example, methods in C++, and you can just connect them in blueprints, and that's it. So basically, the blueprint just connects your C++ methods. Like, you could do that too. So you can still use. I'm not judging anyone using blueprints. I'm just saying that Unreal is a great way to use to learn C++ if you really want to get into it and do it the hardcore way, but be careful with blueprints. But yeah, that's off topic. So I meant to say that, and, like, I actually started with C++ in summer 2019, so that's 3 years ago. Damn. 3 years ago. Actually, 3 years ago. Huh. Yeah, a bit more. So not 36 months, but maybe like 38. So I've been programming C++ for 3 years. Crazy. Yeah. Like it's funny, but I actually sometimes have issues with raw C++. I've been doing some work in it recently, and I was confused with certain things. So, like if you get into Android C++, make sure to also learn raw C++ and do some programs in raw C++. Like if you're running Linux, you can just right away go and do that. Write some code and use G++ to compile it, and you can run it right away and see what it does. So definitely like try and mess around with that too, because the Android C++, I'm telling you, is very different, and mainly because of the custom types. So like the ideology and the structure and the way you go about things is more or less the same. Also the logic is still there, but they have custom types. And like, for example, like F strings instead of string, or an array of cards, you have an F string. And if you work with F strings for years and then someone asks you to write something in raw C++ and you're like, are these strings in C++? And you're like, what is the type called string? And you know, like you're not sure. And you're like really in a bad position, because like if you're on an interview or something, that would look suspicious. So careful with that. And like Android also uses, for example, the U structs, U enums, and all these U things. U are classes, but like it's so confusing sometimes that you really need to be careful with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's been fun. It still is fun. Just give me a second. I have to change the category actually here on YouTube. For example, it keeps going into gaming. I guess my last stream was gaming, right? I believe so. Not made for kids. No. I mean, all kids should learn programming. Actually, like that wouldn't be a bad idea. Um, Let me just finish this up, then I'll tell you something. So, um, schools teach math, geometry, your native language, one or two foreign languages, history, geography. But what if there was also programming in the mix? Because as far as I know, at least not no elementary school actually teaches programming. And if they have like a computer class, it's like working with office software and bullshit like that. I mean, of course, maybe a year or two to get acquainted with all of these, like half a year would be enough. Half a year to learn how to work with the Office suite, because that I have to say that it's important to be able to use those. But after that, it should be programming, and it should be mandatory, like math is. Why should we learn math? And should be forced to learn math at school when we should be also forced to learn programming, like mainly nowadays. And by we, I mean like overall, like students. I'm, I'm like I remember times from elementary school that I just hated the classes because we were just doing a bunch of bullshit. We were drawing in Tux Paint on Fedora, which was very impressive that we were actually using Linux and Fedora. But like specifically Fedora because of its high security. And but looking back now, I say all this stuff, but back then I had no idea. But we were drawing in Tux Paint, and just it was fun, okay, granted, but it was so unnecessary. If they just taught us programming from that age, then at this point I would be a fucking kung fu master in a particular language. And like I would like if I were if it were up to me, I would force kids learn programming like they are forced to learn math and their own language and foreign languages. To those foreign languages, I would add a programming language, at least one. It makes total sense, and mainly nowadays. So I don't get why it's not being done. I would like force them to learn C++. But like yeah, most people start with Python, but I'm not a fan. I have to say that I'm not a fan of Python because the simplicity just I can't like most people are happy because it just works and you just type words and you don't have to worry about syntax too much and you just look at indentation and you don't need any brackets and you're like okay, like this is it, it works, and don't have to worry about it, nothing, no methods, like you don't need a main or anything, even though you can have one, but you don't need it in simple stuff. So it looks like it's a simpler programming language, and definitely like many in many ways it is, but that's exactly what's so upsetting. At least like it's upsetting me because it just doesn't teach you anything. That's my opinion. It doesn't teach you anything. Like maybe it gives you the programming logic and it tells you how to do stuff and how to think algorithmically to tell the computer what you want to do step by step and how to process data and learn all the bare basics of programming. But the syntax and oh my god, like it's really stupid. I have to say that it's stupid. Beginners should be forced into C or C++ and then maybe go into Python or JavaScript these days if they want to go the web way. But even though like if they want to work with Electron, they would do JS. So that would be the second step. But first they should learn an actual programming language. And I personally would force them to learn C++ and then they could try Python and they would be like, oh, that's so easy. Like after all this, like a year or two, C++, now Python. Oh, that's like a walk in the park, simple stuff. So um, that's what I would do. And I was actually trying to lead computer science classes some time ago, but wasn't really successful. I couldn't find like I wasn't really looking, but I couldn't find people who like parents who would want their kids to learn this stuff. I was looking for like a month, so not too long, maybe even less. I don't know exactly. And I didn't really market it. I was just made a few posts and that's it. No paid advertising or anything. Or actually, I think I had one ad, but that was just for a couple of days. And I wanted to start teaching kids how to use the internet responsibly and how to not just the internet but the technologies and how to not fall into the TikTok pit and just I so disagree with all this stuff. So they should learn how to use all this responsibly and productively and to actually get some result from their time spent with the tech, this tech. this modern tech nowadays, all the devices that the kids these days have in their possession. So, and the way I would go about this would be that the first step, like for those that who have no experience with programming, I would just throw them into C++ and be like, and this is programming. I would explain all the basics to them, make it simple, then introduce OOP, make it fun, show them everything, and then maybe do some introduction to Python if they want to do some of that. For example, like work with AI stuff is often done in Python. So like if they want to go that path, they could use Python, and I would show them. But the first step would definitely be an actual programming language, like a serious programming language. And I know that Python's popularity has been going up these last years, but I don't agree with it. That's me. That just maybe it's because I started with C++. Actually, I didn't like my first. Well, okay. My first contact with programming was Visual Basic in some old version of Visual Studio years ago, and that was technically C#. So I started with fucking C#. Nowadays I don't touch that stuff like Microsoft, and like I hate C# so much. No. And Java, no, 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 please no. No. So like C++ is my domain. And a Mark, for example, our like Syntonia's Mark is coded in Python, so I can do Python as well. But I still always have like cringing when I'm writing Python code. I would rather do it in C++, but that's kind of complicated with Discord. The libraries are in either JavaScript or Python, so from those two I chose Python. Lesser evil. But actually Symfony API is written in JavaScript. Node.js. The server is Node.js, so I ended up with using JS as well anyway. So yeah, currently C++, Python, and JS in that order. But mainly C++, definitely. Like that's the real programming language. Like mainly in the past, like almost all the games were coded in C++, and like probably like the first serious game written in Java was Minecraft, as far as I know. I'm not counting those mobile games from back in the day that those were coded in Java. Okay, for example, the Fallout, I think Fallout 1 or 2 for phones was coded in Java. Also, some of the versions of Snake were coded in Java, but like an actual serious desktop game that was coded in Java was Minecraft, like the first one. Kind of went off topic here, don't you think? How long has it been? I've been talking about this for 40 minutes or so. Jesus Christ. I'm actually starting to feel tired. Okay. We should do some work, at least something today on stream. Literally called coding session. But I mean, like educational stuff, like they gotta learn. And that's the question I've been asking for years. Why are they forced to learn math, foreign languages, mother language, geography, history, but there's no programming? Like on high school, like certain high schools, mainly the more technical oriented ones, have programming, even though like in questionable languages, but they still do. But elementary schools should, like, kids should be forced to do programming. If they're forced to do math, I think programming is like general knowledge, as like the same argument you use with math. Like, it's general knowledge, you should always know that because you might use it at some point. Well, nowadays you need programming as well. Or that could be the same argument as with math. So it should be updated. Like this ancient educational system that's in the US and in Central Europe as well is just so fucking retarded, if I may say so, because like it doesn't work. And yeah, that's why I wanted to start those courses, to actually try and help and change something about it. Not directly, but like teaching kids how to program. And I might do it like I could still do it remotely, like online. I guess that could work, but I need someone to market it for me. So someone like some organization or something like that. I actually Ongakan has a non-profit called Ongakan Education that was built for exactly this, but it has no marketing. Like, someone really needs to spread out the word, and like if people are interested, I would do it. But there's gotta be people who would sign up and go to the classes. So I'm open to it. Like I would have, I would make time for this, like, because this is really important for the future. I'm of that opinion, definitely. Because this age of kids just spending hours on TikTok and fucking Instagram and who knows what else, and I can see it on my own younger sister, and it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And all that stuff that's being posted there, like, the platform itself is pure evil, but the content is even worse. And China owns it all. Where is this world going? So yeah, but let's get to work for a bit. So this is network master, and I think that you might have noticed the comment here. Where is it? Give me a second, I'll find it. Oh, here. Look at this. So I think you should be able to see it up here. By the way, I paused the music again and never resumed it, so let's go. Beatrush, Ongakan, Spotify, YouTube, all the other streaming services. Go ahead and have a listen if you like it. This line, this comment. So I had this ingenious idea yesterday, and basically the access points will all be spawned in the world that you're in and that your terminal is in, and you will just iterate through them, and that's like the scan process, and you'll just iterate through them and gather their details there. SSID, BSSID, signal strength, encryption type, and you'll just iterate over and get all this information printed out, and that's it. We have a scanning method, and that's it. We don't have to do any lists, any hard-coded returns as I did with original Terminal Insanity. Just iterating through spawned objects. It's so simple, and it's been so simple all along. And yeah, this one as well. So let me check if you can see it. Yeah. So the signal strength will be actually the distance between the actual spawned access point, the distance, well, like from where it's physically placed in the world, and your terminal, and this distance will be taken like an air distance. It will be taken and formatted so that it looks as close to decibels as it can, and it will change with distance, obviously. So it will be reformatted to look like decibels. It won't be like just a pure distance value, but it will be changing accordingly when you move around. So yeah. Sorry. Just tired. A lot of work. Okay. So this will actually work pretty well. So let's try it. So we have a scan command here, and the header file scan here. Actually gonna put it here. Why did it change again? The fuck? See, this is what I meant. Why did I do this? Ecstatic by Ongaken, the top Ongaken song and my personal favorite. It's weird that I don't like all the songs that I've made. Like I honestly don't like all of them. I don't. I mean, I had a certain idea, I executed it, and then when I listened to it, I was like, could be better. But Ecstatic is my all-time favorite. Like really. Okay. So this is what I meant. Like, hard-coded stuff. Not good. Not good. Never do this. Literally, never do this. Use OOP. It's funny that I did this 11 days ago myself, and now I strongly disagree with it. You learn something every day, and it's probably because I got this idea of iterating through the access points today, and I wrote the actual access point classes today. Or yeah, technically yesterday. So let's keep it here for now, just so we have a reference for the names and stuff. And do the actual method that will handle all this. So we have a blueprint callable method called ouch. Ow. Ear still hurts. It's been like 2 weeks or so. When I bend it like this, it doesn't hurt, but up here, this circle, I don't know what it's called, like this part of the ear just hurts, and it's red. I don't know if it's from the headphones, but probably. I'm just gonna have it like this. One headphone. We can have an iterator inside and just return a how are we gonna do it? We want to print all the available networks in this manner, but done properly. So apparently there's like, according to this, I meant to put 1 AP to each mission? So only 1. Up to 1. Because like there's none in Mission 5 and Garage 0. In that case, we can still iterate, but it'll only run once, and that's actually probably better for this. And then we could format an F string and just return it, and that's what will go into the output std out. So let's use this. Get instances of term manager. No, that's the method. It returns a TRA, but we don't need it right now, I believe. Found actors. Okay, this stuff again. Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but yeah, okay. But okay. But this scan command will only search for wireless access points, so find WAP and return details. Okay, and an F string. This could work. UCMD scan. Yes. Okay. Found actors. We have to make a TRA of actors. Shut up! Get the hell out of here. God. And we want to find wireless access points, so we'll do U wireless, and actually I think it's only wireless, but we have to include it in here. Seriously? No autocomplete. Why can't it find? Fucking kidding me? Can't we find it? An actor. Okay. It's an actor. Oh, we need to include gameplay statics as well. Yes, man. Okay. That's it. Now We have the actors. Should be able to iterate through them. Like this. Same thing. But since there's only one, let's make an F string called return. F string count beats. Details. Count AP details, and I'm gonna do the iterator for each. Yes. No. Here. Yes. No. No. Keep it on auto. Right. Actually, we know what type it is. Okay. We used it too. Here. So, okay, so now we can do if found actor is of certain class. What was the? Is A. Is A. Base class. Static class. A. Wireless access point. Static class. So if it actually is that class, we're gonna take the string and append to it, but we're first gonna cast to the actual. What the fuck? This song is from 2020 and it was an experiment with the vocals. The vocals are terrible. Never had luck with vocals except for one song, which is Unretired. We should continue tomorrow. Technically today. Last song, Terminal Insanity. How fitting. So we're gonna cast like this. We're gonna cast to a wireless access point and actor. This should be a valid cast. Yes, but we need to do something about it, so what? Found actor. Exactly. So we need the asset ID. Actually, let's take the equals f string plus this. Oh wait. Oh. Yeah, I said it, I'm tired. Found AP details. Found AP details. And this should be a string as well. Now let's do the same for BSS ID. Do the same for encryption method. This should be set already. And do the same thing for signal strength in decibels. with the exception that we cannot actually use that there. Can we stringify that? Get value. Yes. What? Why? Why not? T enum. What can I do with it? Let's try one thing. Cast it to app string and see what it does. No. Yeah, exactly. Not gonna work. It is an integer technically, that's why it's not wanting to, I think the cast should work with an integer. Okay. Well, let's work with a functional cast. But what about this? No. String. F string. What if I do F string in from integer? Close this off. Here. F string from enum. No. From integer syntax float format. Okay, let me look this up. UE4 enum value to string. Conversion of enum to string is plus yes, but only the value that's currently set in the object. What's up with me today? Enum to string. How I learned to stop hard coding and love type safety. Tell me about it. Enum value stringify. What is that? What is that? Oh, this is a custom. So we can't do it. Magic Item Library. Okay, we can't. We will have to do it in BPs. Like, this is something that we literally can't do without a library. So we have to do it in BPs. BPs are written in C++, so it's kind of interesting that we can't do it. But yeah. We'll do this cast in BPs. So for now, I'm gonna command it add. So file details, alright, and we'll just add a new line after that. After each. This works. For our purposes, this works. So let's see what the compiler has to say. This will probably take a second. This is Engage by Ongaken, and it's also our last song today, the actual last song. So after this song, I'm going to sleep. It's not worth working when you're not feeling up to it, especially if you're tired, because you're gonna make mistakes, and in coding, you don't want to code tired, because one, you will wake up, or when you go and code the next time, you'll be like, what the fuck is this? And two, you're gonna make more mess than actual progress. So you're gonna have to spend more time than cleaning it up and figure out what you did actually. And something similar applies to coding when drunk. I don't know, I've never done that, but it's the same idea. You can't focus and your mind is all over the place, so you don't want to mess up your code or give yourself more work the next day when you're hungover and ready to go back to work, and then you're just like, what is this? Spend half an hour cleaning it up. Hopefully actually this compiles before the song ends. It's incredibly slow. For some reason, I don't know why, honestly. Oh, I'm gonna put myself like this. Hopefully I don't fall asleep or stream. Seen too many fails of streamers falling asleep while streaming. I'm just gonna wait till the end of the song. What? We've got an error. Must return a value. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, I know. We forgot to return all AP details. Sorry. Might as well cancel. What? Yeah, that's true. We can return a null f string, so we will have to return an empty string. Can't just say null pointer. Yeah, failed. No shit. It actually did compile before the end of the song. It was close, but it did finish, which is kind of surprising. It did finish. Okay. I'm done. I'm really tired. Going straight to sleep. Straight to bed. Straight to bed. So, see you later. We'll do some coding later as well. Again, I have some more stuff coming to improve the streams and overall, like, make better content a little bit using that something. And I'm also going to do some research with it and just mess around, have fun. But that's coming next week, probably on Monday or Tuesday. Let's see. And until then, there's gonna be a coding stream, one coding stream during the weekend probably, and then we'll see. But either Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, see you. Have a nice day. Bye, and hopefully you agree with what I said before, because yeah, I think programming should be mandatory at schools. Definitely. C++ is the way to go. Specifically. Okay, yeah. Bye.